Hello and welcome to the AI for Good Innovation Factory. And nice to meet you all, you guys. My name is Josh Choi from the ITU, International Telecommunication Union, and I'm very, very happy to moderate today's Innovation Factory session. Well, for a short intro, ITU is the United Nations specialized agency for ICTs, and we are also the organizer of the AI for Good Global Summit in partnership with 38 UN-assisted agencies and co-convened with the Switzerland government. The Innovation Factory is a program launched last year under the flagship initiative AI for Good Global Summit. It is an online pitching platform to help startups grow and scale their innovative AI-powered solutions, and also by introducing their solutions and creating business opportunities to help them connect to investors and governments and big IT companies, and et cetera, et cetera. Last year, we received more than 200 applications from 46 countries. And so far this year, we've got nearly 150 applications from more than 35 countries. It is growing so fast as a global startup pitching platform. But we are more committed to bridging the gap between solution seekers like other UN partners, governments, corporates, and solution creators, mainly from the startup, so that we can position this program more than just a pitching platform, rather a startup and a growth accelerator and a startup-driven SDG solution exchange hub. Okay, so now let me kickstart today's session. Especially today's session is co-hosted with Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, aka MDEC. I'm so glad to introduce 4 Malaysian innovators who were selected through national competition process led by the MDEC, and all of them have great global growth potential with interesting AI-driven solutions. Okay, so firstly, I'm glad to introduce Mr. Ryan Chan from the MDEC. So Ryan, please tell us a bit about who is the MDEC and what are you guys doing to foster innovation in Malaysia, as well as in the global innovation ecosystem for use.
Thank you, Josh. First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Malaysian session of the AI for Good Innovation Factory pitching sessions. Thank you for taking your time to join this pitching today. I know we have participants from all over the world. I would also like to thank the panel of judges that we have assembled, both from Malaysia and also from Europe, that's coming in today to help us to judge and evaluate the 4 Malaysian companies that has been shortlisted for today's pitching as well. My name is Ryan, and I am from Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC, or as we like to call it, MDEC. We were started in 1996 by the government of Malaysia to be the lead government agency to support and develop our local ICT and digital industry. And the whole reason for this is that the government recognized the importance of digital to be the driver of economic growth for the country and for the region. So in 25 years, we've been leading the country's growth in the digital economic sector, so much so that as of last year, digital economy contributed % to Malaysian GDP, and we foresee that this will continue to grow in importance. Now, how we do this is we look at it from 4 pillars. Number 1, we look at it from a digital skills development perspective to ensure that every Malaysian is equipped with the digital skill sets for the economy of the future, and that includes new talent that's coming through our education system from primary, secondary to tertiary education, and also working with existing workers and existing professional workers, right, to reskill and upskill them for the digital economy. Then we work with businesses of all sizes, right, from micro enterprises to small and medium enterprises to large enterprises, to help them to look at digital transformation and drive digital adoption within their businesses, to look at automating existing business processes, to using digital to derive new revenue and business streams within their organization. And thirdly, we look at disruptors, and which is where we have these new startups coming through today, where we also then look at supporting and developing the local ecosystem to support disruptive and innovative startups and scale-ups, giving them the right support in terms of mentoring, coaching, connecting them to funders and investors, and also working with them to connect to business partners and explore business opportunities to expand into other parts of the world. So we work with all these companies and to help them to grow and expand and to globalize. And last but not least, we continue to facilitate foreign direct investments in the digital economy. And we find that this is important because we welcome foreign companies to come into Malaysia, to use Malaysia as a springboard into Southeast Asia. And we welcome opportunities to work with innovative companies from other parts of the world to come into Malaysia and work with our local ecosystem and local talent. So in short, that is how MDEC would like to support such innovation in Malaysia and to really truly make Malaysia the heart of digital ASEAN. So I'd like to thank you once again for taking the time to join us. I'd like to thank our partners as well, ITU, for making this happen. And to the 4 companies that are pitching today, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ryan, for a very kind and good introduction to MDEC and also good comments. And so I'm very also excited to continue to see what kind of innovations are coming from the MDEC for the next few years. And also, you guys already have been doing very, very well in terms of the innovation, and also the economic development, especially by using technologies. So I'm very excited to see a lot of interesting technologies and ideas from the startups today. Okay, all right, so now let's move to the short introduction to our judges as well. So today we have 4 distinguished judges, 2 from Malaysia and 2 from Europe. So all judges today have a very strong background in the startup investment and also acceleration field. So firstly, Mr. Brian Chung, who is the co-founder of Untitled Capital, and an investment company focusing on fintech startups. So Brian, so could you tell us a little bit about your business and then what you are looking at, especially in Malaysian innovation ecosystem?
Yeah, thanks. Hi, everyone. So my name is Brian, and I'm an advisor to Fidelity Funding. It's a Malaysian registered venture capital corporation. So we look at and invest in startups that can enable, empower digital transformation with the least friction. We are part of a group called Ecosys. It's an established group which offers retail and F&B tech solutions. So we believe in leveraging on different partners in order to help accelerate the growth of startups. So today I'm super excited to be part of this event, and I'm looking forward to hearing the pitches from the companies.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, let's quickly move to the next judge, Sharina Haiza Zakaria, who is the Associate Director at Iris Capital. So Sharina, can you introduce yourself as well?
Hi there, my name is Sharina. So I'm part of Iris VC. We're the first privately driven VD fund in Malaysia in partnership with Malaysia's Ministry of Finance Penjana National Program. It's a match-for-match initiative to boost support for local startups. We co-manage the fund with Hanwha Asset Management of the Hanwha Group in South Korea, one of the largest conglomerates in South Korea. My background has predominantly been in public markets, but from various viewpoints. So I started off as a journalist and then as an analyst and a sales dealer. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so we definitely expect your great contribution today as well. Good. Okay, and next, Lorenzo Niola, who's the impact investment expert. He was the actually head of ecosystem development at Hatchco Lab, based in Switzerland until recently. But as far as I know, he now starts a new adventure. So Lorenzo, you can tell us about the new adventure and so what your past experience, what you learned and what you're expecting in the future, and especially also with this session as well.
With pleasure. Thank you, Josh, and nice to meet you, everyone. I'm Lorenzo, and based in Geneva, here in Switzerland. As just said, like I was the part of the ScaleUp team. Now I'm helping a startup within the mobility and climate tech field in the go-to-market and commercial strategy, because it's a deep tech company based here in Switzerland, so there's a lot of tech behind, as well as I'm working with some M&As boutique to help entrepreneurs in getting acquisition opportunities. On the other hand, I have this background. I always work with startups, entrepreneurs from all over the world. More recently in the tech for good space. So literally using tech solutions for the SDGs. I have around 10 years in experience in accelerating and incubating startups across the globe. I supported over 200 entrepreneurs and have a financial and legal background. And yes, I've done both activities within the startup, but also in the internet.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, Lorenzo, well, we missed the very last part of your mention because there is some kind of connectivity and stability. So, yeah, but I mean, well, it'll be okay later on. Yeah. Right. Okay. So last but not the least, Yana Abramova, who is managing partner at Pretiusum Venture, a UK-based venture capital firm. And then, Yana, thank you very much for joining this the AI for Good Innovation Factory session again. And so, yeah, please tell us about yourself as well.
Yes, hi everyone. Happy to be here today. As Josh mentioned, I'm a managing partner at Pretiusum Ventures, where we look at early stage companies all over the world, but with a focus of on immigrated tech talents. We invest seed Series A and help our companies grow globally. I'm also a Tech Nation ambassador and exceptional tech talent visa holder in the UK. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And also, Yana is very active in a lot of social media and YouTube, LinkedIn, and blogs. I pretty much enjoy reading your articles. It's great about your activities. Thank you very much for joining us, especially given so busy time. Thank you very much. So thanks a lot to all our judges for sparing your time. I know, especially at the end of the year, especially as a venture capitalist in a super busy season, and then also you guys also have a lot of work. So, but I think it's definitely worthwhile to spend today because there must be a lot of interesting, also great startups today. All right, so I'm very excited to move on to the pitching competition from now on. Okay, before moving on, I'd like to inform all the audience that there is a chat functionality, right, in the Zoom, so everybody can leave some comments and questions. So definitely we will do a Q&A with the judges, but anyone from the audience, if they have any questions to the startups, please feel free to leave a message. But please make sure to set a message recipient to all panelists and attendees, not just all panelists, so that everybody can see your questions, and also the startups can leave comment as an answer to your questions. All right. Okay. So now let's get started. So the first stage is for Dr. on call. Okay. So KK, who is the Chief Technology Officer, is here. So Dr. On-Call is one of the fastest growing digital healthcare platforms in Southeast Asia, and their solution allows the patient to have medical video visits on their smartphone or computers at any time of the day and anywhere. So I'm very curious and excited to see how it works. So KK, floor is yours.
Okay, hi guys. So I'm going to defer this presentation to Yahya, our AI expert here from Dr. On-Call. So just Yahya, take it away. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you guys have 5 minutes. Okay. Please be punctual. And then after 5 minutes, we'll do 10 minutes Q&A session.
Okay, great. Thank you, KK, and thank you, Josh. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll just get started now. So what we're presenting here as part of the Dr. On Call's effort to expand in the field of artificial intelligence is the AI factory for digital healthcare. And healthcare and wellness is the third system, the third SDG goals, right? One of the sustainable development goals. So this is going to be something very interesting. So let's get started here. I hope this is not bothering anyone. Let me just minimize it. Yep. So our mission in Dr. On Call is to make healthcare accessible and affordable for everyone, right? To make a huge impact on our clients and make healthcare affordable for all of them. And I want you to keep this in mind when we discuss the proposed problem that we're discussing here, as it will help clarify why we chose the approach that we chose. So given the problem is, as I'm sure most of you can guess, is that the healthcare costs are very expensive, not just in Malaysia, but throughout the whole world, right? And it's becoming more and more demanding for patients to go and get into consultation sessions with doctors, right? Studies, as we found in Malaysia, shows that it would take you roughly 2 to 3 hours on average to get a consultation from your doctor, even though it takes only 30 minutes for the consultation itself, which is insane, right? And the idea is healthcare has been really slow getting into the digital field. And so here in Dr. On Call, we hope to mitigate for these shortcomings, right? Because you have only one doctor in Malaysia per 16 patients, right? Which is an insane number and well over the WHO's recommendation. So we hope to mitigate this gap using technology and artificial intelligence, right? So again, accessibility and affordability, right? This is why we've invested in artificial intelligence, because it is bound to make this connection, right? So we're not just invested in the single project that I'm going to discuss today. We have many projects, including this little demo here that we have under development that can read your pulse with 59% accuracy rates, right? Which is pretty impressive and a very interesting algorithm for another talk altogether, right? But the reason we're invested very heavily in artificial intelligence is that it genuinely outperforms humans. Not only is it cheaper and scalable, so right, we can deliver it for many people across the whole world, but it's also much, much better and more accurate than a human performance, right? As you can see, this study would show you that artificial intelligence outperformed radiologists in detecting breast cancer. And so it's really an impressive and interesting field to be in. What we're proposing here is the AI factory. Simple user interface that will make it very easy for doctors across the whole spectrum and even simple users to build artificial intelligence models, right, for classification and diagnosis with a simple interaction with the user interface. So once the user gets into the system, they can choose between the different projects they have. And then once they get in, they'll see the screen that you see over here, right? They have the ability to easily define the classes, right? So if I, for example, want to build an HVI classifier, I'll define the different classes of HIV, right? And then I'll upload the images and I can easily toggle in between them. Then jumping into review and training, we give the user a data analysis on how good their data set is and how it is guaranteed to work, right? Its sufficiency. Next, during the training, we will present the user with a detailed accuracy model, right, for both the model's loss and its accuracy in real time. And finally, the user can test their model, see its evaluation, and once they're satisfied, they can deploy it, right? We can generate an API that we can then put it into our platforms, right? And we've already been using this sort of technology. We have a project that we call Spot, which is a simple classifier, really powerful, but simple in its usage, that will classify a given image as having one of those different types of skin cancer, right? So here is how it works. And this is, by the way, up and running, right? You can access it right now. You go through, you upload the image. It's genuinely very simple. You get the type of disease detected with its accuracy and a good detailed description, right? And then you can even hook you up to consult with our doctors or know what to do next. So the idea, again, is very powerful because it is very high in accuracy and we've already implemented it. And the goal is to now make it very easy for us to build those kinds of models, right? Where if you want to classify something like breast cancer in X-ray images to help doctors, because there's many patients for them to deal with, we can generate a platform and they can use it immediately and effectively, right? So again, AI screening, speak to a doctor online, get treatment immediately. We connect all of this together. And we'll just show you our ecosystem and how this is easy for us to develop, right? But the market is a huge market, right? It's a $15 billion market, right? With a tremendous potential where we can target users, right? Such as patients and doctors to aid patients, give them diagnosis and help doctors with their x-rays and with whatever they want to do, right? And with businesses, we have been affiliated with many businesses and they can genuinely use this technology to help with many things, because this can, by the way, also used in classifying or detecting COVID, right? So if we just augmented for voice detection, we have seen that it's plausible for you to detect whether a cough is a COVID cough or just a regular cough, right? So very potential. And we have one of the largest digital ecosystem around, right? And this is because, again, healthcare is way behind in getting digitalized, and we want to make it digital, right? We want to build this very complete ecosystem where we can interact with different companies and providers to give the patients a very efficient model that they can use and that they can interact, right?
Yeah, you have 30 seconds.
Yep, I'm almost done here. And so we have many achievements. We have achieved, we have been very renowned. We know what we're doing, and we have succeeded a lot, right? So as you can see, we have many achievements. And we have, like, the growth for this idea is huge, and we have grown a lot lately, right, because of the pandemic. So one of the key ideas that they will tell you for a startup to succeed is to leverage, right, a good moment, the right time to grow, right? And the pandemic was certainly an opportunity for us in the field of healthcare. And while many companies in Malaysia and around the world struggled to match the demand and all of the lockdowns, because our platform is by design digital, right? We managed to exceed and dominate the entire market. And so this is a very powerful idea that can very well be implemented. We have the tools to do so. We have one of the best teams in our AI team here. We're working day and night on developing those systems. And we have actually a huge team in Dr. On Call itself that's backing us up. So we have the best of the best here. Thank you very much. Yeah, so this is our management team. We have a lot of people backing us up. Yep. So yeah, thank you very much. If you have any questions, please, the floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. So you can now stop screen sharing. Okay, so who's going to start from judges?
Yeah, I can start first. Thanks for sharing, Yahya. You mentioned just now that you have achieved a very high level of accuracy. So what were the data sets like, for you to conclude that you have a high accuracy level?
So, well, I've showed the accuracy in two areas, right? First was the pulse measurement in that video. The way we know this is, right, we build the model, we measure the pulse through that model, and then we compare it to my actual pulse, right? And we saw that in all of our tests, at most it was off by only 5%. Regarding building our models for convolutional neural networks, we get one huge data set. So for example, the image that I showed you had an X-ray images, right? This, I believe, is called the HAM 10,000 data set. It is a very huge data set, 12 gigabytes of size, so it's really huge. And once we achieve a great accuracy in this, we can be very confident, right, in the results and performance of our model. That will scale up.
Okay, so is that AI that you mentioned about, is it built in-house?
Say that one more time.
Is it built in-house?
Yes, of course.
Fully?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, so anyone? Lorenzo was, yeah, Yana, please go.
Hello, Dr. On-Call team. I have actually like two questions. The first one, Yahya, you mentioned that your new solution is specialized on the detection of breast cancer and X-rays, right? But then is it something else you're going to implement, or because of on the sides you?
Okay, so the pipeline in of itself is a generalized pipeline, right? It's specialized in healthcare, but not particularly X-rays. Again, the end goal is to have a system that you give it a data set and it will generalize well on that data set and be trained, have a good accuracy, regardless of what's the target, right? So ultimately, if I want to detect breast cancer, I just need to get a good data set, right? And train it. If I want to detect skin cancer, again, get a good data set and it will be trained and it will fit on that model, right? And we'll have two different APIs to handle each.
What about your, is it a separate one when you can detect the face of the patient and then measure the heart rate, if I understood correctly?
This one is actually a separate project. I was just showing you guys that, because we have a lot of different projects running artificial intelligence. So I'm just showing you one of the cool stuff, because in my opinion, those are really interesting projects that we're working on. So yeah, this one was one of the fascinating for me, or one of the most fascinating for me. So that's why I shared it, because the algorithm behind it is genuinely interesting, right? But yeah, it's a different system that relies on facial detection, and then using the algorithm that I've discussed, measures the pulse of the user.
Do you have any competition because of as you are the first digital platform, right, in Malaysia doing this digital healthcare? Do you have any similar competition?
Maybe I answer that, right? So in terms of a digital ecosystem, we are one of Malaysia's first as far as the country is concerned. And we do have competition, but most of them come from a non-technological background. So they won't employ all these AI services and capabilities, or they don't invest in these AI services. So I think Dr. On-call has had the opportunity and the foresight to have a team dedicated to AI for our internal AI work, whereas most of our competitors in the market, at least in Malaysia, they are mainly focused on they are doctors. Yeah, basically they're doctors and woke up and today I want to do technology. But for us, we are tech people and woke up and we want to do medicine. So in that sense, we take the tech-led approach where here's a dedicated AI team to work on AI exclusively. Whereas you have other companies, they are focused more on their main core bread and butter, which is medicine. Yeah. So we do have a competition, but I think you can see from the awards and the traffic that we have do have comparisons as well and benchmarks that we outperform most of our competitors by a large margin.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I also very like this, how you can upload the images and then compare and then have a detection of your potential disease, which is a lot of people are Googling nowadays, right? So that now they can use a professional platform.
Yeah, so it's really for doctors, right? We want to make it easy because we work with doctors and they are not the most techy people around. So we wanted to make what is the simplest platform for a doctor to take his experience, years and years of experience, 20 years worth of photos or whatever, and put it all publicly available or into a usable tool for other people to use to benefit the entire world. Now with our tool, they can upload my repository of whatever diseases that I find that's classified. So all this medical experience, and also we are partnering with Monash University Australia to support some of our AI work in terms of the medicinal aspects of it, the accuracy, the legal parts of it in this area. So we are making that kind of partnerships with educational institutions to verify our work and also improve on really to distribute doctors and make it more the awareness higher in this area.
Okay, yeah. So judges, please go on. Question if you have, Lorenzo or Serena.
Yes, yes. Hi, Josh. Thanks for your contribution. And so I have some questions. I'll try to be very, very quick. So the first question is about what health parameters you can measure, because I saw a picture, a kind of a mock-up of your solution. So from the phone, what kind of parameters? The second is what do you define as a user? Because in your business model, it seems that you have both a B2C and B2B business model. So I was thinking the user for you is, first of all, patient, the doctor, and also maybe insurance companies in the B2B, right? So maybe try to identify better who is the client and who is user, okay, within your solution.
Okay.
Yeah, go.
Okay, so the parameters that we are working on, and we do look at a lot of things. So, among the other things we want to measure is your heart rate. We want to measure the images, so whether it corresponds to any of the diseases in our repository. And by the next 5 years, we would have hundreds or maybe thousands of diseases that we can detect. We're also looking at your example, your heartbeat using a fingerprint or using a finger on your camera. You can get your heartbeat. We can do your breath test, for example, through a phone. So we are exploring a lot of this kind of self-screening tools. And the goal is to ultimately make it more accessible to the users. So who are our users, right? Yeah, the users are people like you and me. And actually, more importantly, right, in Malaysia, we define people as B40, the below 40 group of people, right, where these people, healthcare is very hard for them to access. They, it's getting transport for them. It's hard to get to the doctors. But most people have a phone nowadays. So we are targeting the poor and the poverty, people who are in poverty, maybe refugees, whoever who need access to good healthcare at a very low cost. So mainly in the below 40 market, right? And for the other parts, right, if we launch it with governments, we have partnerships with governments, we have partnerships with corporates, right? Those people, example, for wellness for their employees. If you're working for a company, you want to check the wellness of your employees. So we can partner with them as well and we actually have those partnerships in place where, with insurance companies as well, because they want to ensure the overall health of their insurers network. Yeah, they want to make sure everyone is healthy, so they can use our platform. Hey, everyone get healthy right now, and reduce their overall like payouts, for example, right? And then definitely, if the government is more for the environment, everyone else, and people paying customers like you and me, we can go in, or you're just interested in your health, you can take a health screening, and you'll recommend to you. We actually have like tests, for example, what kind of vitamins you need. So you can go on to our platform and find out, are you deficient in zinc or vitamin A, vitamin C or B, and yeah, get a recommendation to buy medicine. So users is all of human beings. Customers can be various, so corporate, government, or personal payers or insurance companies.
Okay, yeah, given limited time, so can you allow Sharina to ask one final question if you have?
Hi, yeah. So quick question on accuracy, and how long does it take for your technology to perfect the accuracy of the diagnosis?
Okay, so today what we do is that instead of like replacing a doctor, we are more or less trying to assist people to get to the doctor in the first place, right? So there are many people who decides today they woke up, they feel a bit sick, or they saw something and they don't want to get it checked. Yeah, we are trying to break that barrier to get the initial people to get it checked. In terms of accuracy, we are, like my friend mentioned here, we have about 95% accuracy verified by our own internal testing tools for the medicine. But our main target is not to replace a doctor. We want to get more people to the doctor. Yeah. So there are a lot of people who don't have access, or they think it's not serious. But if you get a free tool for them to test, yeah, they are very easy. Just snap a picture. It takes like 5 seconds to get you the result. Yeah, then it tells you, are you high risk? Are you low risk? Or do you have this kind of symptoms? It will trigger them. Okay, you better go and get it checked, or you don't have anything to worry about. So in that, we are not replacing the doctors. We are trying to get more people. We are, in fact, for doctors to call business, we are trying to get more customers to the doctors. And through some of our work, right? If you didn't know, during the pandemic in Malaysia, 300 clinics actually closed down because people could not go to their clinics. So with doctors on call services, right, what we do is a few things. So number one, through all this AI, we get people to the doctors, and then we create that platform for people to doctors online, or to get their services, either through bookings or through medications. Yeah. So in terms of accuracy, it is accurate, but we use it more as a screening tool.
Okay, well, thank you very much, the Dr. On Call teams. This is a great presentation. Also, it's a very interesting Q&A. So thank you very much again. All right, let's quickly move to the second pitching. Actually, we were supposed to have Robo online, but it seems like that they have a little bit of a technical problem for now, which will be solved quite soon. So Smart Pip will be the second pitching. So I'm calling Meng, who's the CEO of Smart Pip. So Smart Pip is an AI health tech company that develops automated monitoring systems to prevent accidents and assist healthcare professionals to respond, better towards the patients and elderly, especially with higher fall risk and low mobility. So let us see how they make changes and impact in healthcare industry. So Meng, floor is yours. You have 5 minutes to go.
Hello, everyone. Let me start with my story first. All right. So 5 years ago, my grandma actually had a fall. She stayed on the ground for hours before somebody found her. And since then, she was afraid of walking again, chose to stay on the wheelchair wherever she goes. And her condition continues to degrade after that. And unfortunately, a year later, she passed away. My grandma's incident is just one of the millions of cases out there. And as world aging population is going to double in 2050, aged care facilities are now mushrooming, and they are mostly short of caregivers. So the question comes, how do we keep these seniors safe and healthy? And this becomes a really huge challenge. Traditional methods of preventing falls is to apply restraints on seniors to restrict their movement. And these methods sacrifice seniors' mental health, dignity, and freedom in exchange for their safety. And very sadly, we are still seeing a lot of this in aged care facilities nowadays due to lack of caregivers. And we believe that technology could help reducing this. And this is where we come in. At Smart Pip, we leverage AI technology to facilitate senior monitoring. We power up optical sensors with AI to track and detect anomalies and produce report for analysis. This is an overview of our system where we deploy an AI local server that can power up 30 to 50 optical sensors at once. And this is basically how it works. Suppose that in a nursing home, At night, we have a high forest senior trying to get out of bed without calling for assistance. So as he regrets to the edge of the bed, our system detects this, notifies the nurse, and sending the nurses as the senior is trying to transit. And this is how the system helps to prevent a fall in a nursing home setting. If a fall eventually happens within the camera view, our system will also provide an alert to get the nurse to attend this. So now an alert is triggered at the nursing counter, nurses get notified, and she can rush there to help. So in a daycare center, an old demented lady may get up from wheelchair while the nurse is focusing on other things. So our system also helps notify this nurse before the fall happens. Lastly, we'll also help to keep track how long the senior has been using the toilet from a sensor outside the toilet. So once the door is closed, timer started. And when it goes more than 15 minutes, an alert will be sounded to get the nurse to check. And this is especially useful when everybody is sleeping at night. We bring values from 4 perspectives: greater senior safety, quality nursing care, useful insights from the management reports, received costs for the hospitals and nursing homes in terms of liability, productivity, and reputation. We adopt a software licensing business model where we operate in 2 modes: consumption mode, where we charge our client based on usage, and recurring mode, where we charge our client based on number of optical sensors activated every year. So far, we have established a distributorship in Australia, and we're getting 3 more on board soon. We've powered up 4 hospitals, 6 aged care facilities so far, and there are 5,000 remaining facilities to be tackled. This is what we have achieved so far: 61% faster response to falls, 72% reduction in falls, and more than 3,000 nurse assistants facilitated. And this year, we also roll out our smart home care system based on thermal sensors to help detect falls, potential stroke incidents, and abnormal long toilet occupancy at home. We are already in talks with property developers to power up their retirement units with our AI to support safe aging at home. In the next few years, we'll be working with distributors and resellers worldwide to tackle the $5 billion B2B market opportunity. And we are also entering the $200 billion B2C market with the technology that we have developed. Over the last 2 years, we have achieved 10 times revenue growth, hitting a revenue of $180,000 this year. We have recently won another $1 million tender project to power up 4 private hospitals with our AI. With that, we have secured 60% of our revenue next year. So by 2025, we are aiming to power at least 200 aged care facilities and achieve a 30 times revenue growth. We have a great team of 10. We used to work with Microsoft Research Asia, F-Secure, Avira, JobsDB, and Autodesk. We've bagged several awards over the last 2 years, and we have also been extensively featured on the media. Our company vision is to enable better health, safety, and well-being for seniors with AI technology. And that's it. My name is Mang from SmartPeep. We revolutionized elderly care with AI, and I'm happy to take your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mang. It's amazing. You are exactly 5 minutes. I think that you have really practiced a lot. Okay, for 5 minutes, that's great. Thank you very much. Okay, you can now stop screen sharing. So who would like to start question?
Yeah, can I start as well? Thanks, Meng Hui, for sharing. First question I have is, does your subscription model include the hardware bit as well?
Yeah, when we work with distributors, we only take the software licensing portion and leaving the hardware and the one-time services margin for the hardware, for the distributors. So we are taking mostly on the software licensing. It's just that for some tender projects, we are assigning partners to actually take up the hardware and the services. Yeah, so we have subcontractors as well working on tender.
If I'm a customer, means if I'm a home, right, and I don't have CCTVs that's placed in strategic positions, I will need to invest in CCTVs.
They only pay a subscription amount. It depends on which one you are going for, whether it's recurrent based or it's a usage based. So so CCTV will be included within the cost.
So you will provide the CCTV?
We have partners who will provide. We have partners that will provide the CCTV cameras.
Okay, so if I pay the subscription fee, whatever you're going to charge, it will come with the CCTV.
That's right. The whole system itself. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Second question is,
sure.
What would be your barrier to entry? Because it seems that the AI that's being developed or adopted here, it's not something that's difficult, right? For other companies, bigger companies, maybe even CCTV related, kind of companies, for them to do such a thing. So what would be your barrier to entry?
Our barrier to entry is basically the AI features that we provide. Because before we really scale this business, we have actually spent one year actually to collect all this data to train up the AI features and to test it with a lot of nursing homes, a lot of hospitals to actually get into the workflow. The workflow is really important. It's not just a detection and alert. There are a lot of reporting behind it, and there will be a nurse attendance timing, whether the nurse arrived before the senior leaves the bed or not. This kind of analytics that is actually keeping our clients using it for quite a long time, and the nurses are actually very happy about all these features to actually power up. So if you look at other AI providers out there, maybe from Dahua or other cameras who has AI features as well, they are mostly targeting the security industry. Very seldom you will see they are actually targeting the healthcare industry first, because it generally takes a longer learning time in the first few years in order to come in. So security is straightforward. So that's where we are playing in a different field.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
I have a question. I don't know if anyone else wants to start. So thanks, Lim. Very good presentation. Some question about the competition.
Sure.
I didn't see anything, or maybe I missed some of the information. And the other one is when you said that you are starting with the home market, like, is it already validated? Like, and correlated to this question is who will receive the data from home? Like, who has this kind of platform who can access to those information? And the third one is, I didn't see any main ask, like, what are you looking for at the moment?
Okay, so first to answer about the competitions. So competition on the B2B side is not many seriously in Singapore and Malaysia, but in Australia, in US, in UK, we have a lot. Like in the recent tender project that we are actually competing with one Singapore, one Finland, and another one in US. So that's a bit of the competition landscape over here. And currently, most of the nursing homes they are not using any fall prevention methods, and they see the great effect of this improvement in terms of technology adoption, whether it's in hospitals or nursing homes currently in this region. For B2C, we already have a already have a beta product that we are testing it out with the home care providers. Home care providers like the nursing homes nearby, they are doing this kind of home care services at home. Yeah, we are actually partnering with this type of providers to power up these technologies to monitor the seniors at home, whether they are demented or whether they just have surgery. So these are the things that we are working with currently. Yeah. So this is more on the competition part. Sorry, what was your second question again?
Sorry, the second question was about the who will receive the data, let's say, at home, like who can get access to the data, if are insurance companies, doctors, who else? Yes. And the last one was about the main ask, like what are you looking for at the moment?
Got it. So for home, we are actually not providing the camera, the normal camera, but those thermal sensors that is black and white. You can only see the silhouette. So the system is actually analyzing those kind of images rather than the raw images itself. So if there's any falls or no movement at all, no toilet usage at all, it will actually prompt the rescue team to actually check whether this is a true event. If this is a true event, they'll dispatch their rescue team over. So we play on the technology part. So it is not recording anything other than the alerts itself, because those alerts for falls, how the falls happen, would be very useful when they are admitted to the hospitals. So this is on the data platform part. So the third one, in terms of us, we are actually looking for partnership that could actually partner with us, because we position ourselves as technology partner, and we are always looking for a channel partner to help us to bring it up. So we have experience working with Australian distributors now, and we are currently trying to engage with more in Hong Kong, in UK and US as well. So the main ask would be on the partnership, and also actually recently we are preparing for investment, raising investment on expanding the team itself. We are raising about $1 million, in 3 months time. So that's it.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Crystal clear. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just have one question.
Yeah.
Sorry. So apart from detecting falls and if the patient is stuck in the toilet, what other I don't know incidences can you to develop from this? What other things can they spot, and what will be included?
Sure. So we had actually quite a number of detections based on injuries. For example, we are tracking whether the patient has been moved every 2 hours on the bed for those non-mobile patients. Because if they are not being repositioned every 2 hours or every 3 hours, their injuries will get, their bedsore injuries will get worse. So this is how we actually help nursing homes to actually keep track of their care quality and make sure that their caregiving staff is really doing their work, but not falling asleep at night, because that might lead to serious consequence. Another feature that we are helping with one of our Australian clients is on detecting whether there's any senior people who is loitering at their facility. Because in Australia, their retirement village is huge, and they only have 2 nurses taking care of 60 seniors at night. If somebody falls or somebody demented who forgot how to get back to their room during winter time, that would be a big issue. So that's why we also try to track who has actually lost their way back to their room. So this is one more feature that we are currently providing. So our main focus currently is not really to develop more features, but how can we really reduce the cost of our solution so that we can actually benefit the mass. This solution is not, because AI solutions is known to be quite expensive. So these 2 years we have been spending a lot of effort in bringing down the solution, and hopefully one day we can actually sell to governments in Asian countries. So that is something that we are pushing forward for this affordable senior care mission. Thank you.
Yana, if you have a question, you can read or you can skip.
No, actually, no, Serena already asked a question that I had in mind, so all good, thanks.
Great, thank you very much. All right, okay. Thanks a lot, man. So it's a great presentation again, and then thanks for the great questions from the judges, and then we learned a lot from your side. Okay, all right. So for judges, okay, don't forget to make the scores while I am sparing a little bit of time for you guys by introducing the next turn. All right. Okay. So next turn would be RoboMai, if I pronounce correctly. Okay. So RoboMai is a tech company with a special focus on product development and system integration with AI, and also cognitive technologies, and they're trying to apply all different algorithms to the real world problems in natural language processing or computer vision, bioinformatics, and more. Yeah, there are so super high AI tech. All AI tech are there, right? So, okay. So everybody join me explore the world that they are improving. All right. Okay. So Mohammed, well, I hope you have solved our technical problem for now.
Yes,
are you ready?
but yes, just for your information, I'm using my phone due to the technical issue. So I hope everything will be okay. Let me share my, can I start my pitch?
Yes, please.
Okay. So can you see my screen well, or am I pitched up? Hello, sir.
No, you
Not
can't
at the
see.
moment.
No, we can't see your screen.
Okay. Can I allow one of my colleague to share the screen from? Or is it?
Sorry, how do you want to do that?
Can I ask again? Is it possible to see my screen?
Oh, we cannot see anything. Is there anyone from your team to share a screen, on behalf of you speak or something?
Yes. Okay. Sorry. So I have a very wonderful.
Or maybe if you can share a link to your slide or something, I can do that, for example.
Can I share to Mr. I forgot her name.
But I'm not sure if the attendee can share their screen. I think the only panelists are allowed to share their screen. So if you, I don't know, if you send the,
if I share to Shahida from MDEC, can she?
Yeah, well, if someone from MDEC. Okay, so all right. Maybe we can start with the another team if ever AI is ready, or
yes, please, if possible.
Okay, all right. So in the meantime, you can share. You can send the file to someone from MDEC, and then they will share the screen that you speak. So okay, well, thank you very much, Farzal, and then Tanir. Okay, so let's start first with Ever AI. Thank you very much for your understanding. Thank you.
Okay, let me share my screen first. Okay. So you guys can see my screen, I think?
Oh, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, let me try again.
Yeah, in the meantime, a short introduction to Ever AI. The Ever AI mission is to make AI blockchain technology more accessible than ever before. I really like your ambitious goal here. So no code end-to-end, the full stack data science, machine learning and everything. So they're basically, they're developing user-friendly interface for even non-expert in machine learning. So sounds great. So okay, so we are excited to see how you guys actually make technology accessible to anyone, anywhere. Okay, so your screen is shared. Please go on.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, everyone from all over the world, I guess. So I am Fairoza from Ever AI Holdings Sdn Bhd. So our company slogan is AI Tech for Everyone, because we are definitely aiming for AI Tech for everyone. So till February 2021, 1,181 primary school students dropped out from their school in Malaysia. And up to August 2021, 748.8 thousand unemployment cases reported in Malaysia. Why are these happening? First, students have lost interest in lessons and courses taken. COVID-19 has forced the home-based teaching and learning to happen, thus contribute to the inability of students to join online classes where they don't have suitable devices for online learning with poor internet connectivity. And to make it worse, the class schedule mismatch between teachers, students, and guardians. Therefore, we developed Ever PTPR with the motto, personalized education for everyone. We provide the learning management system equipped with 3 ways of communications, which is between teachers, parents, and guardians. We also provide an intelligent recommendation system by using data and AI to recommend courses, tutors, and education materials based on students' abilities and interests. EVA PTPR can also operate with low internet speed, both offline and online. Here, how it works. Students will have their own performance metrics dashboard. Is it the video? Okay, the video is starting. Okay, here how it works. Students will have their own performance metrics dashboards. So we put scoring for each subject. Adam here is a high school student majoring pure science. He is weak in physics, but he always see the physics lectures and attends all of the physics classes. We also analyze his learning behavior, where we can see he's very good in social skills and visual memory. So the AI matched him with the most suitable physics teacher, classes, and education materials. If Adam satisfied with the teacher that we match, he can proceed to book a schedule with this teacher. And if not, he can browse for more. Or if he thinks that having a group tutoring is much better, he can actually opt for the classroom part. Perhaps Adam doesn't really need a teacher or a classroom, so he can just learn through the vast materials that we tailored for him. After all, we want to help Adam to gain more interest in every lessons that he took. Education is not a new field, and we have already researched on our competitor. Our key indicators are auto-personalized education and hybrid app functionality. We found that none of them has excellent recommendation engine for tutoring, group study, and also education materials. So EVA PTPR top on that features. Besides, EVA PTPR is also accessible both online or offline with low bandwidth requirements. There are 5 million students roughly in Malaysia, about 500,000 using learning management system, and if 10% of them using our apps with an average of 10 ringgit monthly usage, we can generate an approximate about 6 million of revenue yearly. Okay, here are our achievements so far. For your information, our company just incorporated this March of this year. So our users are mainly teachers, students, and parents in Malaysia, with 50,000 exposure through Digital Classroom Malaysia group members. We were also invited to give talks in Women in AI Malaysia Summit, Digital Classroom Malaysia webinar, and University Malaya Center of Continuing Education webinar. Our partners are Education Materials Publishing House, Internet Service Providers, and Education Center. Behind every successful technology is an awesome team. We are a group of PhDs and masters in AI, machine learning, blockchain, business administration, graduated from prestigious universities all over the world. With high experience in machine learning and software developments, we managed to build the EVA PTPR within 3 months time frame and continue to improve our apps together to realize the SDG goal number 4, which is to provide an inclusive and quality education. So you can try to download our apps in the Google Play Store, Apple App Store, or www.evaptpr.com. The 4 emerging trends of technologies are artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud, and the application of data. We believe that the next generation of technology will be centered around the letter E, which stands for education. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Faraza, for keeping your time exactly in 5 minutes. That's great. Okay, right. So let's move on to Q&A. So who is going to the first one? Yeah. Okay, Yana, you can start.
Hi, Faraza. Thank you so much for your presentation. It was great. Just want to clarify who is exactly the target audience? Because at the end of the presentation, you've mentioned that there will be more about the application of AI and blockchain. And then at the beginning, it was mostly about the primary school dropout. So I was not really sure what is the target audience and what are the classes.
The target audience is yes, thank you very much, Yana. So the target audience will be the students and the teachers and the parents, but mostly the clients will come, the customers will come from the students, and we tailored the education for the students. The blockchain part is actually because our company also have a services on blockchain. So that's why our company's 5 pillars, we have AI, blockchain, data, cloud, and also education. But our product here, we focus more on education. We have other various products besides the education actually.
It's mostly the product, so that's the courses for the students, right? So then they can learn self-paced.
Yes, they can learn self-based, like for example, if you use our Ever PTPR currently, our Ever PTPR is a high online learning platform where you can do it offline and offline actually. Then from there actually we give them the quality education, the education that they want, because sometimes when you do online learning, teachers, parents and students, the timetable clashes. Like for example, primary school students, they cannot attend the class that the teachers made in the morning because no parents actually look at their class, something like that. So meaning we don't need to, we are the one that help them to cater the education part for them, to give them a most quality. We recommend for them. The exact way is recommend for them. Yes.
But there where the confusion is coming, because of then you mentioned the primary school students and then students. So that's why I think I didn't really quite understand, because it's the students, in the university, or I mean the students in the school.
Oh, it's from the school ways up to the, I think in Malaysia will be STPM level, means the pre-matriculation students.
Okay, and then you also mentioned that the traction 416,000. What you were referring to?
Oh, that one is the Malaysians that actually using the learning management system. So our current user base is, we have thousands of users, but we didn't reach the 100,000 yet. Because we just launched it. It's not really that, our apps is not 1 to 2 years old. It's just 6 months old, I think.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah, what's your hi Faruza, what's your business model?
Okay, our business model is actually, if you see in the video just now, we put the subscription based, meaning if you want to have a one-to-one with the teacher, then you need to subscribe, you need to pay for that. And then mostly on the subscription base, and then we would like to partner with a lot of education centers so that we can provide this platform for them, but mostly on the subscription base.
Okay, so you mentioned that through your algorithm, you can match the student with the appropriate teacher, correct?
Yes.
So is the teacher incentivized to teach the students? How is the teacher incentivized?
Yes, we incentivize the teachers, I think. Maybe Dr. Sai want to take this question?
Yeah, if you remember, the apps revolves around it's a three ways communication between the teachers, students, and the parents. Of course, in this case, the paying customers will be the parents. The parents pay for their children's education, and in this way we match the tutoring market is a huge market in Malaysia. So what we did is we matched the students and teachers to find a best match.
No, I understand that. That part. If I'm a teacher, why would I want to offer my time to teach that particular student?
We usually will give the incentive to the teachers. It's usually when you share all of the materials, like how our materials partners, they give it in our platform, we will share the revenue together with them.
Yeah, the teacher will be paid for their tutoring services.
Okay, thanks.
I have two questions. So one, how do you stop the teachers once they've matched with the students, right? How do you stop teachers from not going through you once they've matched with the student? Because, secondly, what's the plan beyond COVID? I mean, I can see how this is applicable now, but once things resume to normal, kids are getting vaccinated, how applicable is this? Is your service?
Thanks. So let me take the questions. Your first question is that how do we keep the teachers incentivized to use our platform rather than just connect with the students? Well, we only take a one-time fee when the student register with the teachers. We just take a one-time cut. So when they want to, they are free to continue with the teachers on their own. But when the teachers want to find another students, let's say from another area of the state, or outside the school. Yeah, that's where our service will come in. And your next question is what happens after COVID? Well, I believe that tutoring services is still a huge market, and yeah, people will be more accepting online tutoring rather than going to face-to-face, because it doesn't involve a lot of arrangement like the transportations, you need to rent a place, or yeah, things like that. It will remove all the barriers, and also the geographical barriers, like you can only provide your service to a certain area in your town. In online, you can do it all over Malaysia.
Yeah, and to answer your question also, actually our concept of the apps is more to the hybrid concept. And then another thing is like, even though, even though people are still, like COVID is already finished, but we still, what we research in the internet is actually most of the people, they have like one-to-one matching like manually usually, but what we did is by using AI, and also like it's automatically curated for you. So we actually like make it much more accurate compared to you do one by one. Like you need to find, for example, teacher A is very good at maths, but then who is your student? Like some of the students, they are very good in memory, but some of the students, they are just very good in the graphics. So we are not only analyzing on their how many class they attend, but we also analyzing on the behavior on how they study.
Okay. Yeah, Lorenzo, do you have questions or?
Yes, I think that all the other judges and you already covered out of stuff. The only thing is going to be very quick. Do you have a main ask, maybe around the team, maybe funding, maybe more clients? Like nowadays, what are you looking for?
Dr. Sai, maybe you want to answer this?
Yeah, we are looking for funding to further develop our applications. That's the one thing. We're also looking for partnerships with schools, perhaps private schools, international schools, and yeah, basically more users to our service.
Okay, great. Can you quantify a bit the funding, or I mean, the funding will help you to do what? To hire people, to enter into new market, to develop the solution? Do you know more or less how you're going to spend such funding?
We will spend our funding on developing more features on our applications, and also to grow in the marketing, and to grow the amounts of users. And of course, these users will contribute more data to our company, which is variable. And yeah, are you looking for a figure on the funding, or?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
if you have it, yes, but if not, no problem. No problem. We can always catch up later.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, thank you very much, EverAI team. And then, so again, it's a very interesting presentation. Also, thanks again to our judges for an intensive question and answers. Okay, well, I hope all the technical problems are solved from Mohammed's side. So can we quickly move on to the next page? I think Ryan can share the screen. So Ryan, share the screen, and then Mohammed, you present.
Yeah.
Multiple tasking.
So, thank you very much for showing that kindness to me. So, yes. So, Oot.ai is a platform to make AI application deployment simple and make it affordable and accessible for all. And I'm Muhammad Afzal from Robomai, working as Chief Technology Officer. And we are incorporated in March 2018. So, you know, we are born in the times still we made a lot of fantastic innovations. And Ryan, can you move to the next slide? So including Oot.ai, and another one is Robomai Intelligent X-ray Analyzer that help to detect COVID-19, and we are discussing with relevant authorities on that. Can you change the slide, please? Second slide. So Oot.ai brings the benefits of artificial intelligence to every person and every organization. Next. So we started in 2018 with a prime aim of providing affordable AI solutions to all. But soon we realized that it's not going to be very affordable. Not everyone can afford it. So that's why we started thinking about how can everyone, including into every individuals, every business, including street vendors, access the potential of AI. So that's why we come out with Oots.ai. Next slide, please. Ryan, next slide, please. Hello. Hello. Yeah. So as I mentioned, these are the problems that when we try to make AI affordable and accessible to all, some of the problems that we find is AI is very useful, but it's still costly. Not everyone can afford it. And also for AI, we need data, but not everybody knows the potential of data, and they don't keep the data. Because for AI, for develop any AI application, we need data, but not everyone is aware of that. And there are very less self-learning resources in AI so that people can think about AI, they can implement AI, etc. Next slide, please. Okay, so Oots.ai is the solutions to the problem. It's an easy-to-use AI platform that helps individuals and organizations to keep and organize their data, whatever be their data, whether it is audio or video. It helped to keep their data, and it helped to utilize wonderful algorithms over the data to extract valuable insights, and they can develop their own AI applications for their own personal use or for their clients. Next slide, please. And the benefit is Oots.ai can save more than 80% of cost. This is from our assessment, because once we move from a programming-based approach to a no-code platform that can accessible to all, that we find that you can save a lot of time. You can develop and deploy an AI application in few hours if you have enough data. And also Oots.ai encourages and helps you to collect the data that you have. Next slide, please. I would like to show the example of a food truck. So as I mentioned earlier, we wanted to give the benefit of AI to all. So you can see in a typical day in a food truck business, they can see they make some food item, but they don't sell that. Sometimes they have more demand, but they don't make that kind of item. So you can see also that sometimes they will lose a lot of oil on the road because of the traffic congestion. But all these can be solved by using machine learning algorithms working on their historical data. But is AI accessible for them? It's not. That's why we come out with Oots.ai. Next slide, please. So Oots.ai help to organize all the data that we have and come out with wonderful insights and wonderful predictions for our own use. Next slide, please. So they have Oots.ai got 3 layers. We have the data. People can collect their own data. Maybe there may be financial data. It can be images of their customers coming in. It can be videos, etc. And we have powerful algorithms. And for normal use, for common, for the low cost application, we mostly use open source algorithms so that we can provide the solution to the clients or to the normal clients like food truck owners, grocery store owners, etc., at a very affordable rate. Next slide.
So you have 1 minute. You have 1 minute.
Okay. Because these are the current modules available, so you can create a login and you can develop your own application with Oots.ai. Next slide, please. So these are some typical applications like grocery stores. They can predict what items do I stock for this week. How can I test whether the item is fake? They can do that. Or a real estate agent can better price their property and can tell their customers. Next slide. So one typical project that we are working is with a packaging company, collecting information from pharma medicine users to see any anomaly in the medicine usage, etc. So Wood.ai can be used to develop wonderful AI applications. Next slide. So the target market is the small business and individuals for the low cost version, and for the enterprise, we will use enterprise AI applications and at a higher rate. Next slide. And the business model is cloud-based, and we will do digital and direct marketing to make the item reach our clients. Next slide, please. So these are our direct and indirect competitors. We don't have any direct competitor. Next slide. So we have a lot of competitive advantages. It's modular, it's affordable, it's easy to use, and we are early to the market. That means we don't have any direct competitors yet. Next slide, please. So the market is very huge. We can tap a lot of AI because we are allowing people to develop their own application, and so that the market is huge. Next slide, please. So the pricing plan, you can see it's just $100 per month. We have higher plans so that everyone can access it, afford it. Next slide. So we are asking for funding. Yes, we mentioned this is a minimum funding, that most of this will be used for marketing. Next slide. So we have a very experienced team, about 20 years, and also young team with young and vibrant teams also. Next slide. Okay, that's all from my side. So I hope judges can ask the questions, especially on the application. I would like to see the practical application questions on the practical applications. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mohammed. Okay, so quickly move to the Q&A, so anyone can start.
So, hi, Mohammed. Thank you very much for the presentation. As I understood correctly, are you developing different projects in-house, but what is the main focus?
Actually, Woos.ai is a platform so that you can develop, if you have data, you can develop your own AI applications. So for example, you have your financial spendings, but now you want to have a predictive model to tell you that you don't spend on this, you spend on this. So you can develop your own AI without any expertise in AI. You can develop your own predictive modeling for your spending. If you want to have a intrusion detection system in your CCTV, you want to implement that, you can access the platform just by creating a login. You can develop your own AI application and deploy it immediately without any expertise in AI.
Okay. Thank you.
I have some questions. Mohammed, thank you for your presentation. So first of all, I think maybe it's not fair for me, but could you please tell us more about your unique selling proposition? Because still I think it's kind of confusing for me. Then in the competition, you said more time that you don't have any direct competitors. This sounds weird to me, but I don't know, maybe it's only my humble opinion. So how you can figure out that the market is huge if there are no players in this market? Like,
yes, first of all, we know that AI is.
Yes, sorry, and then the last one. Okay. Sorry, then the last one. Okay. So you said you put the example of a food truck manager. So the point is a food truck manager able to develop their own app within your solutions? Like, they are good on one thing, like how a food truck manager is able to code okay or to develop it. And last one. Is that when you said about the fundraising, you said that we will go mainly into marketing. So the point is, are you asking investors to put money on advertisement for your company? Like, how you're going to use the fund? Stop. Sorry, maybe too much questions, too many questions. I don't know.
Okay, can I shuffle your questions? So let me start with question number 3.
Go with the one that you like the most.
Oh, okay, so you asked me how a food truck owner can develop AI. So that's why we have to think it's going to be as simple as using a Facebook, and so that they are developing and deploying a application is very simple. It's going to be very simple. Even food truck owners won't feel any difficulty with that. So that's how the platform works. So you can think of when Facebook started, the users were MIT graduates, but now everyone is the user. So the whole aim of Wood.ai is to make AI accessible for all, so that everyone without any technical capability can accumulate their own data and can develop their own application, AI application. So it's going to be pretty easy with Wood.ai. And also, how we find that we don't have any direct competitor is because we can see that we ourselves can understand that we spent about 2 to 3 months developing an AI application for our clients. So this is not going to be affordable for a street vendor. This is not going to be affordable for a grocery store to have a predictive modeling system for them. So what we find that we have competitors like what I mentioned, indirect competitors like H2O.ai, SAS.com, etc., but they are on the higher end. So we are making the AI deployment so simple that even common people can access it, and we are making it so affordable using open source algorithms that even street vendors can subscribe to it at a very low rate. They can start collecting their own data, and they can deploy their own application. So our unique selling point, like you asked, is on that. Like is going to be a social media like platform for AI deployment. So it's going to be so simple. So let's say if you want to develop and if you want to take care of your elders at your home, so you can securely develop. You can just create a login. You can use the video analytics platform build. You upload your data, you connect your camera, you select the right algorithm. For example, now we have deployed a customer analytics algorithm. So you can select the customer analytics algorithm. It will count the number of persons, number of male, number of female, number of children, their age group, and tell you. Let's say if you want to develop an elderly monitoring system with this, so you select the right algorithm. So that means you can develop your own AI application with simplicity and at an affordable rate. And also regarding the marketing, so what I mentioned about the funding is currently we have some modules deployed. So the current aim is to make this reach to the right customers, to train. It's not only for advertisement. We have to create a lot of videos like how a food truck vendor can develop AI application for predicting on you make nasi lemak this much today. So that is not wasted. Nasi lemak is a food item. So you make 100 number of rice today. So you travel this location so that you can save on food. So today you park at this location because based on your historical data, this is the best location for today. So you can increase revenue. So that means the funding is going to create as much as self-learning videos, so that even grocery stores owners, they can create. So what are the items that I have to stock this week to maximize my profit? So all these can be extracted from historical data. First of all, Wood.ai create an awareness of storing data because we provide the repository to store their own data. Next, we provide the algorithm, powerful algorithms, and this mostly open source for the normal people, the low cost version, so that they can extract valuable insights from that. So it's going to be, it's going to be a Facebook for AI.
Okay, Mohammed, yes, given the limited time, I'd just like to give a chance to other judges if they have any more questions. Okay, perfect. No, all right, great. Okay, so thank you very much again for your presentation, Mohammed, especially given the very hard situation that you faced. All right, some kind of technical, but anyway, I was happy to see anyway everything was done. Okay, so now it's time for all our judges to make the final decision. So I just opened the call for now, so you guys can connect to another call link as I instructed, and then have a very quick discussion to select the final winner, and then let us know. Okay, so while, so yeah, you guys can mute and then turn off your camera, and then, yeah. Got one. Yeah. Okay, so while, I guess still can hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, while our judges are making their final decision, so I just would like to ask one question to some of you guys as a startup entrepreneur, especially in AI field, right? So basically, you know, the Innovation Factory, this is a program to help startups that scale up their, you know, AI solutions to solve the problems around the world. But however, I think that there must be some big challenges you guys are facing, particularly, you know, as a, you know, the startup entrepreneur, because sometimes, you know, you're meeting, you know, some challenges which is not very easy for a startup to overcome by on itself. And sometimes you might need some kind of policy regulatory support from the government. You need some kind of more open collaboration with the big tech companies. So, you know, there's some challenges could be about, you know, data collection or talent acquisitions or funding, et cetera, So I'm just very curious, and, you know, what are the biggest challenges you're having now, and how do you think we can help solve? Perhaps, Mang, do you have an answer to my questions, if you have?
Hey, yeah. Suddenly you throw out this question, so I have to think a bit on.
Yeah, well, I understand, you know, as an entrepreneur, you guys always are facing the challenge, especially as a startup, right? So
That's right.
How we can actually solve, yeah.
I think our main challenge will be identifying the right partners for us to scale our services. Yeah, so including like getting people to actually trust us, because engaging partnership is all about building trust and also to actually see the effect of this. So probably we are always looking for partners in this aspect, and we hope that this would actually give us some of these exposure to help us to speed up this kind of service scaling, business scaling parts. Yeah. So that's something that I have in mind for now. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. What about Dr. On Call? Do you agree, you guys?
Okay, so I have a different sort of opinion on this, right? You know, for platforms like AI for Good. So I'll anchor my example for startups, right? One of the biggest problems with startups is that not being able to find the right customer to pay you money for your services, right? A lot of companies where, you know, 100 startups, 99 of them will close down in 1 year. It's because they don't have the right customer paying the right amount of money for whatever they do. Yeah. So in terms of AI, right, then finding the customers who are willing to pay you money for a long term is very important. Now, in this kind of new fields of AI, then, you know, I think for me is that who is willing to pay for this kind of services? And, you know, for me is that if the government is willing to put in their resources to help other people. So for us, for example, you know, we've been kind enough to have been received grants and also like opportunities to deploy our solutions on a national level. Yeah. So I think that is where, you know, we can showcase our capabilities. We can push out some of our services to the wider group of people to use. And I think someone like AI for Good or United Nations ITU, right, is really compelling people or demonstrating to people that, you know, a government can play that role, and the government can use AI to solve, you know, expensive problems, to save costs, to, you know, get better results for their people. And I think that is the role for someone like yourself, Josh, right? Yeah, and the judges here, right? So I feel that this is a good platform. And, you know, I hope this platform will be able to showcase or demonstrate to some people, the governments, that really compel them to, hey, let's look at the startups that looks at AI and see what solutions that they have. Let's deploy it to our people, because we might have some huge problem here. You know, for example, in our space, people having issues getting the good healthcare. Why not use AI to really improve that situation? And, you know, we are trying very hard to lobby for that as well. So appreciate, you know, people like you coming in stepping in and having this kind of platform for us to do exactly that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, definitely. In order to help start to scale up and then finding the right clients, making a really matchmaking opportunity to make a real impact. And those are really also very big challenges for us now. How can we really do well, for that thing. And then of course, that's one of the reasons why we are here and then set up the Innovation Factory program. And the next year, we definitely have a plan to upgrade and improve our plan to meet more closely the needs from the startup and also make a really right matchmaking. All right. So it seems like that all our judge panels have finished the decision. So okay, so you guys can turn on your camera. And then so everybody can actually turn on our camera. So this is the really last, final announcement. So, okay. All right. So who will announce on behalf of the judge panel team? Did you guys decide? Who's going to that? Who's going to announce and then give a little bit overall feedback on for this session? Volunteering. Maybe Brian? Are you comfortable with doing that?
Why don't we get the ladies to do it?
Oh.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Sharina or Yana.
We can, I think, with Sarina, we can share this burden and responsibility.
Awesome.
Well, yes, we had an internal discussion with a panel of judges, and we're happy to announce that the winner of this competition, and the winner is Dr. On Call. Wow. It was quite an unanimous decision. We find it's quite interesting how the problem is very well defined. The AI works very well, and they're developing the interesting solution in how they can digitize the healthcare in Malaysia. And they've been around for already 5-6 years. What we feel is that a bit the rest. Then we will share the feedback with other companies as well. But yes, for us the winner is Dr. On Call. So Sarina, do you want to take the lead to tell more about the second sort of fourth company?
Right. So let me just not to get anyone disappointed. Okay, so runner up is Smart Peep, and then after that is Ever AI, and last is RoboMy.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so congratulations again to the Dr. On Call teams, and it is great. And also all the other guys also, you guys also actually really, showing us very impressive, your passion and also your ideas and technologies. And I kindly ask our judges to make kind of a short comment for each startup so that they can get some kind of feedback from your side so that they can improve their business model and technology. I think that's also very valuable information for all our finalists today. So I would very much appreciate it if you can do that. Just with the sparing just quick time from your side on the scoring sheet, you can do that. All right. So yeah. So Dr. On Call, so tell us about how you feel today.
Okay, maybe I'll let Yahya go first, because he's the one pitching.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly feels great. I must be honest, this was really interesting. I like the questions very much from the judges. And I must say, there is a lot of things while preparing the pitch that I had to drop out, and I think were as important. And it seems that the judges' questions were point on. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, okay, so well, the Dr. On Call will be invited to our grand finale, but we will have also another pre-screening for the all finalists, because we are going to have totally 8 finalists, and then we will select 4 among 8 finalists to the grand final. And the grand final, also there are a lot of interesting opportunities and then prize. For example, free due diligence process provided by the venture capital based in the US and Canada, and then some of the marketing opportunities will be given to the finalists. So I hope you guys can move on, because I will send you guys more details about it. But the other 3 startups as well, basically we are very interested in all finalists through this year, and then I definitely can open the closed, follow-up session with you guys to, deliver the feedback from our judges, and then what are the support that we can actually provide as an organization to your solutions, and etc., etc. All right, great. So before we finish, we have a very small poll with one question, just one question. Gino, can you pop up the poll? Yeah, here we go. How likely are you recommend this webinar to a friend or colleague? And then, there's a score. Okay, well, I can see 10 over there. Okay, so please do the poll. It is very important fit for us. All right, so thank you very much for everyone for watching this session, and thank you very much to our finalists, startups, and also to our judges for sharing your really, really valuable time. And then the Innovation Factory is going on also next year. We will have a bigger event, a bigger pitching session, and we'll have a bigger opportunity. So please stay tuned with us, and then have a good day or good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. And then thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Well done, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Selector, rewind selector, rewind selector. Rewind selector, rewind selector, rewind selector. Selector, rewind selector, rewind selector. Rewind selector, rewind selector, rewind selector. Selector, rewind selector, rewind selector. Rewind selector, rewind selector, rewind selector.